Vanity Fair is reporting explosive new information involving the Roger Ailes sexual harassment case, where as many as 20 women who have worked for him have come forward with sexual assault, not assault, but sexual harassment. In some cases, I believe sexual assault allegations against him. Okay. Now, the new information indicates that there are former employees, maybe even current employees at Fox News, who recorded some of their interactions with Roger Ailes. There is audio that Roger Ailes does not want to be made public. Now, if he doesn't settle with Gretchen Carlson in the civil lawsuit that she filed against him, well, then it's very obvious that this will go to litigation and those audio tapes might become public. According to Gawker, because of those audio tapes, the settlement for Gretchen Carlson is likely to end up in the 8 figures range due to concerns at Fox that audio tapes of Ailes speaking to multiple women could become part of a public trial. If they litigate the case, all the tapes will become public directly and through others. Then you'll have a parade of women come in. That's according to an anonymous source. So they're thinking, well, that's going to up the amount that they're willing to settle for as a result.
Yeah, if you're Gretchen Carlson's lawyer, you're thinking, yes! Because now, what won't they pay for those tapes not to come out, for all those women not to come forward?
Yeah.
Because then you're going to dredge up all the terrible things he did and make it even more public.
Exactly.
So that price just went up. And then now News Corp is saying, wait a minute, we didn't build that, which is not exactly right. They enabled Roger Ailes to do this for decades. They're like, well, Roger, we gave you a $40 million golden parachute. You want to chip in here? Mm-hmm. So that negotiation is going to be really interesting. You know how Roger Ailes is. He's not going to want to do it. He's bullheaded. And he's been getting away with this stuff forever. So he must be seething in his basement, in his own black room in his house right now. And so maybe he'll be so arrogant that he'll go, okay, let's go to trial.
No. I don't think he's going to go to trial. I think he's going to settle. I mean, he settled with Lori Lunn. Remember, we did a story on her recently. He gave her upwards of $3 million to keep quiet. She had to sign a non-disclosure agreement. And of course, she didn't actually go ahead and follow the rules of that agreement. She went ahead and spoke to the press, which, you know, she might face some consequences for that. He doesn't want this stuff to go public. There is damning evidence against him. So he would be a moron to not settle.
But he should have already settled Gretchen Carlson.
Yeah.
That's hubris. And they, after 40, 50 years of getting away with it, you think you can't ever get caught. Same thing Bill Cosby did. Bill Cosby, to the end, right before he got completely publicly outed. And at that point, he'd already, remember it, done a settlement, just like Roger Ailes, with the woman who worked at Temple.
Yep.
It had already been in the press a little bit. But he got to quash it with all of his lawyers going around threatening the press. Hey, don't you dare talk about it. And he was still trying to get shows on TV, and he was still telling people to pull their pants up. Bill Cosby.
That's amazing.
Okay.
60 women have come forward with rape allegations against Bill Cosby. How insane is that?
So now, that's why I say, I mean, are you sure Roger Ailes wouldn't be arrogant enough? Because he might think, it's already all out in the press. They already know all the time that I took my penis out and I chased the women around the room, and it's already in the press. I might as well go fight it. So it's possible, but you're right. Generally, he's been smarter than that, and he is, give him credit, he's a very smart guy in how he does political operations.
Yeah, look, I think the big difference between Roger Ailes and Bill Cosby is that, as far as I know of, I could be wrong, so correct me if I am, Bill Cosby doesn't have recordings or audio proving his guilt. In this case, if there's audio like that could come out and in the very least embarrass the hell out of Roger Ailes, then he might want to do what he can to squash that.
You know, I wish that they could get warrants. They can't. It's just all civil litigation. Maybe they could do subpoenas. I don't know. Damn it, Jim, I'm not a lawyer. I'm a talk show host, even though I was a lawyer. Anyway, so because Roger's got tapes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Because look, nobody talks about it. They write it in the press, and then they never go back to it. But we know from previous stories that back when he was recording some of these people, like Lunn,
yes,
he recorded her, and so then he said, now I'm going to put it in a safe so you can't disobey me anymore, because
Right.
I've got you on tape doing this stuff.
He used it as leverage against her,
Right.
and he would purposely make her perform degrading things on camera so she wouldn't want that to be released.
So he should have shredded all those by now. Because he did it. If he did it to London, he did in other instances. Because he had told another woman back in the Michael Douglas show, when he was part of that, he said, "I've got you on tape. You better not turn me in." So he has a lot of tapes.
Yeah.
And you know, he might not have shredded them because he wants to keep them for either leverage or sexual purposes.
That's disgusting.
So tapes. I mean, the audio tapes the woman made might be the least of it. That might be the tip of the iceberg. So if you're Gretchen Carlson's lawyer, Andrea Tantoris' lawyer, whoever you are, hurry up, go get the tapes. Because if he shreds them after you give him a court order, well, then he's committed a criminal act. Again, I don't know all the details of how those laws would apply to him,
Yeah.
but they should look into it right away, as my dad would say.
One final thing that I want to add is in that Vanity Fair piece, and also in CNN Money, they also reported about this. Apparently, a bunch of Fox News staffers were very much concerned that Roger Ailes had tapped their phones and was keeping tabs on what they were doing. And Brian Stelter, I don't know if you saw this story.
I did it in the first
Oh,
time.
you did do it. Okay, so Brian Stelter says that a Fox News staffer dated him a decade ago just to spy on him. Isn't that insane?
No, but they're lunatics. They're lunatics. And we know because of that paper that he ran in upstate New York that he had tapped their phones of that local paper. You think he's going to tap those local yokels and at Fox News he's going to draw a line and be like, no, it would be unprofessional to do it at Fox News. No, of course he tapped the staffers of Fox News phones. Of course he was trying to figure out who the mole was. He was trying to figure out who was talking to Gabriel Sherman. Of course he tapped the phones. I mean, this is, even all this stuff we found out about Roger Ailes, we're still at the tip of the iceberg. The guy was dirty through and through. We told you that from day one. And everybody was like, no, it's a legitimate news organization. Don't be crazy. Now that he's out of power, everybody's like, oh, we knew it all along. Then why didn't you say something? See something, say something. I've seen it on the subways.
They were afraid. They're still afraid.
There are two people who didn't sign up for Young Turks membership. One of them was because
he has a lot of chutzpah.
And the other one, we thought,
oh, no, she didn't.
Don't make that mistake. TYTnetwork.com/join. Join us right now.